The NBA is defined by the superstars. Over the 77 years in the league's history, there's been so many different all-time greats. So in today's video, we are going to find who is the greatest player for each age. This is the second part to a video I posted about 2 months ago, and today we are going over ages 30 to 42. So let's dive into it. Diving into the best age 30 season, we actually get a pretty interesting list once you look at top 5 MVP finishers and guys who won the finals MVPs. That only leaves us 2 players, Kobe Bryant and Rick Barry. The other person who has a legit argument at the best age 30 season is Bill Russell. Bill Russell wins the 1965 MVP, and he also wins the championship in 1965. The finals MVP wasn't established until 1969, but he probably would have won it. So I'm going to add him here. Now that we have the 3 guys who I believe have an argument at the best age 30 season, let's dive into those arguments. When looking at the basic statistics for Bill Russell, Rick Barry, and Kobe Bryant's age 30 season, we see Bill Russell do his classic Bill Russell thing, mid-teens points, mid-20s rebounds, a few assists, and we don't know how many blocks per game, but probably like 5 at least. And then we see Kobe and Rick Barry kind of fall into the same statistical profile, but Rick Barry does have the edge here. But I'm not being 100% honest there, because when you look at the per 100 possessions numbers for Kobe and Rick Barry, you actually see Kobe has the edge. And then when you look at the advanced statistics, you also now see Kobe has the edge over Rick Barry and Bill Russell, despite Bill Russell being a little weird because we don't have all his statistics. So then let's talk about Bill Russell. And the problem for Bill Russell is pretty obvious. We can't really measure how good he was with the lack of statistics we have. And in an argument which is so close between these guys, it's really hard when we don't have all the statistical values that we want for a guy. The other problem for Russell is the lack of talent in his era, which isn't Bill Russell's fault, but in an argument with these 2 guys who have great seasons, and Rick Barry kind of applies here too, he doesn't play as good competition as Kobe does, but in this argument specifically, not having all the statistics and being a guy who is a bad era merchant kind of falls flat in this case. So for me, I'm kind of inclined to pick one of Rick Barry or Kobe in this argument just because I have the full picture of what's going on. The other huge component for Rick Barry in this argument is the carry job he does in 1975. Rick Barry shoots 27.2 shots per game. That's absurd, as he's the only Warrior to average over 15 points, despite the fact that 1975 Warriors were the only team in the playoffs to not have at least 2 players averaging 15 points per game. They still won the championship. And that might sound impressive, but also in the regular season, they averaged the most points per game, despite only having 1 guy averaging at least 15 points per game. Kobe also did carry the 09 Lakers a lot. They won 65 games. He led a very good team. He did have a co-star in Powell, but Kobe was really the only true shot creator, the only guy who could create his own shot. While Powell could do it in the post, Kobe was the only one who could do it around the perimeter. And that's what made the Lakers offense so dominant, was when Kobe was on the floor, he roughly made the Lakers, both in the playoffs and in the regular season, 13 points better. So after all of this discussion, who am I taking? And I think I'm taking Kobe. Because from an accomplishment standpoint, all 3 of these guys are very similar. But when you just compare him and Rick Barry, you see Kobe has better per 100 possession numbers and advanced analytically, and they win more games. I'm just inclined to think that Kobe has the slightly better season. So that means the best age 30 season goes to Kobe Bryant. Moving on to the best age 31 season. We only have 3 players that fit the criteria of 25 plus points per game, a win share per 48 above .200, a VORP above 7, and a box plus minus above 6.5. Those 3 guys are Larry Bird, Hakeem Olajuwon, and LeBron James. All 3 of these guys actually make the NBA Finals, but only 2 of them actually win the championship in Hakeem and LeBron. And then from an individual accomplishment standpoint, Hakeem Olajuwon kills Bird and LeBron because Hakeem wins the MVP and the Defensive Player of the Year, while both Bird and LeBron actually don't win any regular season awards. Looking at the basic statistics, you see LeBron and Bird have very similar statistical profiles, but Bird is a little better in most statistics. And you see Hakeem's stats are incredible with the dominant defense. So let's dive into the advanced analytics. And here you see Bird's advanced analytics are incredible, while Hakeem's advanced analytics are definitely the worst of the three. From an accomplishment standpoint, Hakeem Olajuwon has the best age 31 season. But from a statistical view, Larry Bird has the best age 31 season. The last thing I want to talk about is narrative. First with LeBron. And for LeBron, this is his crowning achievement. This is the season where the Cavs come back from 3-1 against the 73-win Warriors. But here's the thing, despite this being LeBron's crowning achievement, coming back from 3-1, it's too hard for me to say it's the best age 31 season. Because when you look at the statistics, Bird's beating him. The accomplishments, Hakeem Olajuwon beats him. And yes, it's a cool moment, but I can't give it to him. And then for Bird, it's kind of the same thing. Because yes, his statistics are the best of the three, but the problem is the accolades that Hakeem Olajuwon amounts, I think outweighs the fact that Bird's statistics are a little bit better because Hakeem Olajuwon also plays dominant defense. That means Hakeem Olajuwon has the best age 31 season. Moving on to the best age 32 season, it really boils down to two seasons. Michael Jordan's 1996 and Kareem's 1980. Let's dive into the argument of two of the best players in the NBA's history. Let's look at the basic statistics. For Michael Jordan, his basic statistics aren't as good as his maybe late 80s, early 90s before the retirement, but it's still a great season from a statistical standpoint and the fact that they won 72 games. For Kareem, his numbers aren't as good as what they used to be, but it doesn't really matter because he wins the MVP and he allows other Lakers to show off, like Magic Johnson in his rookie year. Him taking a bit of a backstep actually leads the Lakers to winning a championship. But when you look at the advanced analytics, you see Jordan has a clear edge over Kareem. Here's the problem with the debate. Michael Jordan has an all-time season here. Yes, his numbers might not be as good as pre-retirement Jordan's numbers were, but still, he leads the Bulls to 72 wins. He wins MVP, wins Finals MVP. It would be really hard to argue any season against Michael Jordan, let alone an age 32 season. That means the best age 32 season goes to Michael Jordan's 1996. For age 33, we actually only have one MVP, but he likes little kids, so we're going to exclude him here. But we do have three Finals MVPs: Michael Jordan, Steph Curry, and John Havlicek. And then looking at the criteria of at least 25 points per game, a win shares per 48 of .200, a VOR of over 5, and a box plus minus over 5, that leaves us four guys: Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kareem, and the pedophile in Utah. Kareem's season ends in the first round, LeBron gets swept in the finals, and luckily for this list, Michael Jordan beat the pedophile in Utah in 1997. Despite not having the best statistical season compared to the other guys' age 33 seasons, I have to think Steph Curry is the only one with a chance to contend with Michael Jordan's age 33 season, because at least he wins a championship. So to me, it's between Michael Jordan's 1997 season and Steph Curry's 2022 season. Looking at the basic statistics, you see Jordan runs away with it. The advanced numbers show the same picture as Jordan runs away with it. Here's the thing. When looking at everything, statistics, accolades, team success, Michael Jordan just dominates in all those categories. So that means Michael Jordan's 1997 is the best age 33 season. Yes, I promise, we will have a different best player other than Michael Jordan soon. You know how like 5 seconds ago I just said there'll be a different best player than Michael Jordan? Well, with that being said, the best age 34 season goes to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is the only player to win the MVP and the Finals MVP in their age 34 season. He's also one of two players to meet the criteria of 25 plus points per game, a win share per 48 above .200, a VORP above 5, and a box plus minus of 5. The only other player to meet that criteria is Karl Malone. Yikes. Michael Jordan's 1998 is the best age 34 season, and luckily for us, we don't actually have to talk about Michael Jordan for the rest of the video. The problem with the age 35 debate is it's not really close. Same as age 33, there's one MVP, it's Karl Malone. But the reason why this debate isn't close is because this is LeBron's championship year in the bubble.
And I want my damn respect too.
LeBron is the only one to meet the criteria of a VORP over 6, a box plus minus of over 7, and a win shares per 48 above .200. LeBron is also one of 2 people to win the finals MVP in their age 35 season, the other guy being Wilt Chamberlain. This is actually Wilt Chamberlain's only championship, so let's kind of talk about him a little bit. The 1972 Lakers actually have the best record in Lakers history, going 69-13, and Wilt is definitely a big part of that. The only problem is that Wilt kind of takes a step back. He's clearly not the best player on this Lakers team, as Jerry West is clearly the best player, and also he's just not the same guy as he used to be. But some might argue that actually benefits him in team success, because that was kind of a knock on Wilt, is that his ego is so huge that he did never want to take a reduced role. He finally does, and he wins his only championship. But at the end of the day, this is just not as good of a season as LeBron has. So let's dive into LeBron's numbers. His basic statistics are insane for a guy who is 35, averaging a 25-point double-double on good efficiency, while also his advanced numbers are also incredible. It's a pretty insane LeBron season at age 35, as he's the MVP runner-up. To me, this argument boils down to a few things. First, LeBron's longevity is just insane, where he still feels like he's in his prime at age 35 at that point. And for Wilt, you see the fact that he's fallen out. He's not the same level as he used to be. The other thing is, LeBron is definitely the Lakers' best player. You could say Anthony Davis, I guess, but it's not on the same level as Jerry West and Wilt Chamberlain, where Wilt Chamberlain was clearly worse than Jerry West. And LeBron is probably a little better than Anthony Davis in 2020. It's close, but I'd still lean LeBron. In the bubble, LeBron was insane, as when he's on the floor, the Lakers were 15.3 points better compared to when he was off the floor. Just insane for a guy who was 35. So that means LeBron's 2020 season is the best age 35 season. For the best age 36 season, we actually have a fun debate, as there's only 5 guys who meet the criteria of 15 plus points per game, a box plus minus and VORP both above 3, a PER over 20, and a win shares per 48 above .160. Those 5 guys are Kareem, Tim Duncan, Steph Curry, LeBron, Karl Malone. Of those 5 guys, 2 of them make the finals, Tim Duncan and Kareem. They both lose in the finals though, and for LeBron and Karl Malone, they lose in the first round. While Steph Curry this season just lost in the second round, but he also got hurt. We don't fully know how the Warriors would have ended up if he didn't get hurt, but he ends up losing in the second round. The best age 36 season boils down to 3 guys for me: Kareem, Tim Duncan, Steph Curry. Because LeBron only plays 45 games, and then that dork in Utah I don't want to talk about. So let's look at the accolades. First, with Kareem, he finishes 4th in MVP voting. He's on the All-NBA first team, and then he's on the second team All-Defensive team. For Tim Duncan, he finishes 7th in MVP voting, 6th in Defensive Player of the Year voting. He is on the All-NBA first team, and then he's on the All-Defensive second team. And finally, for Steph Curry, he ends up being on the All-NBA second team. Now that we know the accolades, let's look at the statistics. Let's start with the basic statistics here. You see that Steph Curry kind of dominates this, and that's not really that fair, because he's a point guard, so he's expected to get more assists per game, better 3-point percentage, more steals per game, and also points per game, which is more fair because anyone can score. Obviously, in this modern era, a guy who's a point guard and Steph Curry is going to score a lot of points. And then Duncan and Kareem kind of split the big man stats, like rebounds per game, blocks per game, field goal percentage. So then when you move to an advanced analytics standpoint, you see Steph Curry and Tim Duncan separate themselves from Kareem. So let's have it between those 2 guys, Tim Duncan and Steph Curry. When you dive into the on-off numbers between Steph Curry and Tim Duncan, Steph Curry this year had a net rating of plus 4.4. For Duncan, his net rating was 7.7, so 3.3 better than Steph Curry. So who has the better age 36 season, Tim Duncan or Steph Curry? From an accolade standpoint, Tim Duncan. From a statistical standpoint, it's pretty close. Maybe Steph Curry is a little bit better, but it's pretty close. From a net rating standpoint, Tim Duncan's better. And I'm also going to take Tim Duncan because he made the finals while Steph Curry lost in the second round. And yeah, maybe he could have made a conference finals if he doesn't get hurt. But still, I'm going to take Tim Duncan. So that means the best age 36 season goes to Tim Duncan. You're going to see from ages 38 till 40, it's going to be a debate between Kareem and LeBron. But for age 37, Tim Duncan is a part of this debate with obviously Kareem and LeBron. So let's have a Kareem, LeBron, and Tim Duncan debate. And the reason why it's just these three guys is that they're the only three to meet the criteria of at least 15 points per game, a win shares per 48 above 0.160, a VORP above 2.5, and a box plus minus above 2.5. I'm kind of lying a little bit because Karl Malone also does. I don't like Karl Malone, so he's not going to be a part of this. When you dive into the basic statistics, you see LeBron's numbers look otherworldly compared to the other two. And then of the two big men, Kareem definitely has the edge over Tim Duncan. And then it's the same thing when you look at the advanced analytics. LeBron and Kareem edge out Tim Duncan. So from a statistical standpoint, it probably goes LeBron 1 and Kareem 2, Tim Duncan 3, but there's a problem for LeBron, as his Lakers go 33 and 49, and Kareem and Duncan both make the NBA Finals and both win the championship. The problem for Duncan is that Kareem wins the Finals MVP while Duncan doesn't. The other advantage in this debate for Kareem is that he finishes 4th in MVP voting, and the other two guys don't finish inside the top 10. So I gotta lean Kareem as the best age 37 season. Alright, let's start with the age 38 debate. And the next 3 years, it's going to be between LeBron and Kareem, just like I said for the age 37 one. So let's just dive into the basic statistics. And you can see clearly LeBron has the better statistics. And LeBron's going to have the better basic statistics over everyone because right now, we've never seen someone this dominant at this age. And LeBron's still doing it at 40. But the problem is, when you look at the advanced analytics, Kareem actually edged out LeBron in 3 out of the 5 categories. And then the other part of this argument is actually LeBron's injury history this year. LeBron's been a mostly durable player throughout his whole career, but this year, in his age 38 season, he has nagging foot issues, and he only plays 55 games. And for Kareem, he is the king of playing almost every game each year, as he only has 1 season in his career below 74 games. And Kareem this year, in his age 38 season, he plays 79 games. And then when you move to team success, you see Kareem's Lakers go 62 and 20, while LeBron's Lakers go 43 and 39. And when LeBron plays, they go 30 and 25. Both guys lose in the conference finals, and I would argue that LeBron's matchup was harder in the conference finals because they played the Nuggets, who ended up winning the championship, while Kareem's Lakers played the Rockets, who ended up losing the Spurs Celtics. But I don't think that's enough for me to take LeBron in this. So I think the best age 38 season goes to Kareem. For age 39, it's a close debate between Kareem and LeBron. You see in the basic statistics, LeBron pulls away. And then also in the advanced statistics, it's the same. LeBron pulls away. But Kareem does win the championship while LeBron's Lakers lose in the first round. But I just don't think it really matters. I think at this point and for next season, you're going to see LeBron is the best player. So let's just get through it here. LeBron is the best age 39 player, and he's also the best age 40 player. The best age 41 season comes down to 3 guys: Kareem, Vince Carter, and Robert Parrish. And then from a basic statistics standpoint, you see Kareem is better than these 2 guys. And then from an advanced statistics standpoint, yeah, it's closer, but still Kareem is the best player here. And it's not close. He's also playing good basketball on the Lakers. He starts most of the games, as these three guys are the only three guys to play at least 50 games in their age 41 season. Vince Carter's Kings suck. Robert Parrish does make the playoffs with the Hornets, but they lose in 4 to the Bulls. For Kareem, he does play important basketball for the Lakers. They end up winning 57 games. They make the finals. Yeah, they get swept in the finals, but they still make the finals. And these two guys just don't compare to Kareem's longevity. And at this point, Kareem is still an all-star. And yeah, that might be a little Mickey Mouse because he was not the same player. He was 7th on the Lakers in minutes per game, but still. Kareem was still a good, impactful player by then, while the other two guys just weren't that impactful. That means the best age 41 season goes to Kareem. And then finally, for the best age 42 season, the final age we're going to be talking about today. And only two guys play over 30 games, and that is Vince Carter and Robert Parrish. When you look at a basic statistical standpoint, it doesn't really matter. Like, the thing is, both these guys aren't that impactful for their teams. Robert Parrish is a little bit more impactful than Vince Carter, as Vince Carter's Hawks are terrible. And then from an advanced analytics standpoint, it's a little bit better for Vince Carter, but it doesn't overly matter. Like, I think this debate's gonna come down to this. Robert Parrish starts more games, he is on the better team, and Vince Carter is just not playing impactful basketball at all at this point. And when you're 42, the most important thing is just trying to help the team a little bit. And Vince doesn't really do that much. Robert Parrish does it a little better. And the thing is for this too, LeBron in 2 years is going to whomp these guys. It's not going to be close. So, but right now, the best age 42 season goes to Robert Parrish. All right, guys, that's it for today. And I just really appreciate anyone who watched this. I know I haven't posted in a while, but we're going to get back on that grind. And there's going to be a big announcement dropping in the next few days. So check out for that. And like and subscribe. And I just appreciate everyone. Thank you.